Oh,
Hi,
no.
and welcome to Left-Handed with a Lot to Say. I am James Lott Jr. with two T's, not one. And we're here talking about left-handedness and all that goes with it. And my guest today, I am so happy he's here. He's my man crush Monday through Sunday. And he is the host of Horribly Hollywood Single on ABTV, AfterbuzzTV. I was on his show, so you should check that out. I was on there, we'll talk about that in a second. He's an actor, comedy writer. He's also a hand model, like I was. I was a hand model too. And I'm very happy to have him on here. My friend, Adam Carr. Hi, Adam.
What's up? How are we doing, guys? It's a pleasure to be here. I don't know why I just said guys, I guess to the audience or people, but I'm really just talking to you right now.
I know, it's okay. You can say hi to them. They are watching.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. This is my left. Hi, how are we doing?
Ooh, very good. Very good. I'm getting lost in your smile already, so stop it. Stop it already.
I drink a lot of milk. I grew up in Cleveland, so, that's all we had. That was it.
A lot of pierogies, a lot of Bob Evans.
Never had pierogies, had a ton of Bob Evans.
What? You've never had a pierogi, really?
Maybe once or twice, but it wasn't like a regular staple of my household.
Well, I guess if you're not Eastern European, I guess. I come from Eastern European stock, so that's why we had it all the time.
Yeah. We had a lot of chicken. My mom made a lot of kielbasi, which I guess is in the pierogi family. And I just remember my brother was a very picky eater growing up. My little brother, it's like the scene in Christmas Story where like the little brother won't eat his food. And he would always eat like mac and cheese with like cut up kielbasi in it. And then wait for it, he'd get cinnamon sugar mix and pour cinnamon sugar on top of it. And that was an average meal. How he didn't have any cavities, I don't know, but that's how they got him to eat from ages like 5 to 7. And it worked.
You had me at kielbasi. You had me at macaroni and cheese.
Oh, yeah.
You lost me at cinnamon sugar.
Oh, he's got some issues. But, he's my little brother, so he's bound to have some. No, he's great.
All little brothers have issues. We all do.
All little brothers have issues, yeah, please. Everything was doing great until he showed up. Let me tell you something. I had that phrase down. Then he just ruined it.
They always do. How dare
always crying, always something wrong.
Wanting attention. I know it's crazy. I know it's crazy. So I actually want to start out with the hand model thing because I was a hand model also back in the 90s.
I remember you talked about this. Yeah. So how long did you hand model for? What was your
So my gig was Scottie Pippen, who was a huge basketball star at the time, and it's for Intel Electronics.
Cool.
So I was their whole campaign. So internet wasn't out yet. The internet was just kind of coming out to become something, and it was more print ads.
Okay.
So I was doing a lot of palming basketballs. And actually, what's funny is it was my right hand they used more than my left. So I was going to ask you, I saw some of your print. I went to your website, saw those handsome pictures. I was like, oh my God, look at him, looking good. But the hands. So I'm like, what hands did you use more when you were doing it?
Usually, honestly, both. It was one of those things I was doing. I do really well with like average businessman, like when they're looking for roles, like just the average guy on The Office, like an average white, I'm blanking on the word right now, like androgynous, like whatever, it's just kind of
every man.
Yeah, and I was doing a business shoot where I was wearing like a suit and I had to hold up a clock in front of my face. And so I did that, and that was one of the pictures that they used, and the photographer was going through them, and he was like, yeah, your hands show up really well. And I was like, he's trying to flirt with me, and I don't get it. And I was like, thanks. And he's like, do you ever considered hand modeling? And I'm like, well, like George Costanza? Is that like a real thing? And he's like, oh yeah, it's a real thing. Yes. And then I asked my print company, I'm with CESD because I'm with them commercially. And then I asked if I could come in and take a meeting. And they kind of gave me at first like you got to be asked to get in, and you can take some shots, but like it's very hard to break into this one. Like, just don't, if you want a meeting, okay, but like, it will be taken seriously. And I'm like, all right, yeah. So I met with one of their photographers. I took a bunch of shots, and literally they were like, okay, yeah. You know what? We can start getting you out right away, and then. Sometimes it's like, you don't work for a couple months and then you get a couple gigs, but usually it's, my hands are small. They don't, they're no hair. They say like child's hands, which is kind of ironic because I have an abnormally large head. So somehow that seems to work. But yeah, you know, the hand modeling, there we go.
Hand modeling's weird because you're right. The way they ask you is kind of weird. Like I said, I was walking down the street and like, can you palm a basketball? And I'm like, what's, because I'm black? They were like, no. They're like really actually asking me if I could palm a basketball. And so what I did in a warehouse, the first one I did, it was like, you know, warehouse in San Francisco. I did it. They paid me. No. They gave you a whole, you know, manicure and everything. No, but it's hand modeling is such a weird thing. You're right. Like you, I was like, is that a real thing? But then you really look at stuff like for rings and for bracelet. I mean, there is
billboard. Yeah, especially when you go to like an Apple audition. Everything that Apple does, usually, I mean, they have hand models, they have chest models, they have ass models, they have breast models, they have neck models, they have any part of someone that they don't like, or they go, oh, that should look like it's 23. They'll find, you know, they'll go into their reserves, pick the part, put it on there. And then, you know, a bunch of 45-year-olds go, oh, that's what I should look like. And you're like, no, it's not even real. The person doesn't even exist. But yeah, sure, keep buying it.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. Scottie Pippen actually contacted me. So it's a little fun note, folks, later. He was like, I'm glad, he goes, brother man, I'm glad they like your hands and not mine, I guess. And I said, thank you for sharing the wealth. So I told him. Yeah. So I got paid until I got my hands done. So it was kind of nice.
Oh, that's great. That's amazing. Funny, the one time, oh, sorry.
It's mostly my right. So it's mostly my right hand. We didn't use my left as much.
Mostly right. It's funny. I did, I could do like foods, anything with like slicing bread or meats, electronics, more high-end stuff. But what I definitely, they said what my hands weren't made for were sports, anything like holding a basketball, different stuff, or power tools or something like that. They're like, you got to have big, manly hands for that. And you clearly do not, you man-child. So that was a...
I got big hands. I got big hands.
Yeah, you got giant hands. You're doing great, James. You're doing great.
I just love that we have that in common.
I'm very secure. I'm feeling good.
Well, you know I love you. So the thing is, whether you have small hands or not, the thing is, it's very interesting because we're talking about left-handedness. I thought I'll just start off with that.
Yes.
Now, but I want to ask you. I ask this to every guest. I ask every guest. When did you realize or know that you were different than the others?
So to tell you the truth, I do have a handed story to tell you, but I actually I'm more right-handed. I'm left-footed. So I did realize I was different from others when my dad tried to teach my brother and myself how to kick a football, because we were both right-handed but left-footed. And then my dad was right-handed, right-footed. So he was trying to show us how to kick a football. And we're out on the driveway, you know, it's a summer day in Cleveland, and we weren't getting it right. And he was getting more and more aggravated. It was like, all right, well, you know what? You boys kick with your left feet, so I'm just going to try it like that. And he kicks left and then also kicks right. He literally lifted both feet up on the driveway, landed smack dab on his back, knocks the air out of him. My brother and I thought maybe he was dead. We didn't know because he couldn't move and he didn't make a sound. And I literally walk up to him like, are you okay? And he's like, get your mother. And after that, he just said, you'll figure it out. And then we just stuck to playing catch. But I think I knew pretty early on, it was always with the left-footed because, yeah, soccer would always be, I would kick with the left. I feel like I felt pretty comfortable with both, but I get my real power from a left.
That's so interesting. Because I play sports, and then, I mean, I'm left, but everything I start, except for bowling. I've said on the show before, bowling, right hand.
Interesting.
Do not know why. I've done it with left. I can do it with left, but right hand.
You know what's funny? I have tried bowling left-handed, and it works really well.
It can. Oh, yeah.
Because I don't feel as coordinated with the left, so for some odd reason, I'm more worried about just bowling like straight and like trying to stay on the path. So by doing that, I actually bowl better than with the right, which is like all over the place.
Yeah, no, because I was trying to tell somebody the other day, I was teaching somebody how to bowl. I said, I have my own bowling ball. I'm that kind of bowler. I have my own shoes, my own bowling ball.
Look at you. Look at you.
I don't trust those nasty folks out there. So anyway, but no, I was telling I said for some, because I said, well, first of all, you're supposed to be looking down at the little markers and you're trying to hit the things. And I said, and normally my eye goes left to right. I mean, everything, my world is left to right, almost everything.
Right.
And everything. But it was funny when I first learned how to bowl as a kid, I could bowl with my left hand. I mean, I'm left-handed, so I can do that. But for some reason, the power is in my right hand. It's just like the precision's in my right hand. I don't know what. I can't explain it. I don't even know why that is at all.
It's a miracle. You're the miracle. You're the miracle bowling man.
Okay, I was born in a manger. That's another story.
Did you?
With some wise men nearby, I don't know, or wise ass men. So I don't know what's going on there. But you know, so I think this whole left-footed thing is going to that for a second. Everything else I do with my left foot. When I play tennis, left-handed. When I skate, I shoot out left-footed. I mean, I completely go left-footed. Ice skating and regular skating.
Yeah, same thing. Same here.
Interesting, you do that. It's so weird.
Yeah, I lead with my left.
Where do you wear your watch in your hand? If you had a watch on, where would you wear it? What's your hand?
Left hand.
Oh no, it's just normal. Okay. That's normal.
Wait a minute. Yeah, because that's where I feel strong. It's good.
So left-hand people we wear on our right hand. That's what I'm saying. Left-hand people we wear it the opposite.
Right, you wear it on your right. Yeah, I get it. Okay.
I had somebody on here who's left-handed who wears it on her left. I thought that's so weird. She goes, "Yeah, I know. I don't know why I do that."
They would have burned her at the stake. I can tell you that right now. They wouldn't have had a bunch of white guys, no patience.
No patience at all. None.
Let me tell you, those guys. Whew.
But it's so funny. So you're left-footed, but you do have a story that I was like, this is one of the reasons why I have you on here for many reasons, but one I want this story has to be told because it's very unique to all the episodes. Let's talk about that story and your left-handedness and school.
Sure. So the year is, let's see, 2000, going to 2001. I was a freshman, which means this was just as it was just starting to become, I feel like in that 2000, that transition year was it's no longer okay to gay bash someone or be homophobic. Maybe in schools, I felt like it was starting to transition, especially in the Midwest. I just felt like in my school that was starting to become the thing. So we had in our high school, I went to Solon High School in Cleveland, which is one of the great, I think it's top 50 public schools in the country. It's a great school system, wonderful education, loved it. And what we would do is I was a drama club nerd. So we would have a fall play. And then in the winter, January, February, you'd have one acts. And then in the spring, you'd have the big spring musical. So this was taking place for the one acts, which means that there would be a senior. There would be 2 seniors per show. So they'd get to direct and stage manage, and the younger kids, juniors, sophomores, freshmen were their actors, and it was up to the seniors to do stuff, right? Yeah. So I was in this one act that was called Removing the Glove, which was a very thinly veiled satire at homosexuality as examined through being left-handed. If you came out as left-handed, then that meant you weren't like everybody else, and there was a owner's manual in everybody's house that reads how you're only supposed to screw with your right hand, and if you came out, it meant you were coming out of the glove compartment. That's how you told your family that you were left-handed, and would they ever love you again, and were you the same? So, little backstory here, the high school drama club leader who had run our program for a long time. And when I was growing up, he was just this huge, luminous figure. And then as I got older, I realized, I think everybody knew, he was very emotionally abusive. He would call girls fat. He would call boys the F word behind their back. I mean, he was just one of those really terrible, but he did these great shows. So everybody kind of let it go. And again, it's just this was, yeah. But there's more to come with him eventually. But so he hears that we're going to do this play, right? And he basically, at this point, he was starting to check out. There was rumors that his job was on the rocks, and he'd show up and sit in the back of the auditorium. I don't know what he did, but he wasn't paying attention. Yeah, so the seniors, we're doing this whole thing, right? And it's all about, I have to give this monologue later. By the way, too, I had this great ghetto booty in high school. For a white boy, I brought it. You don't even know. So I had these spray-on like yellow plaid pants that were just made my ass like a helipad.
I love it.
It was so great. So literally I just walked out on stage and people started laughing their ass off because it was just my ass. And then I had to give this monologue about how I was left-handed and I'm talking to my best friend. And it's this, I'm remembering something. I'm like, and then, you know, all of a sudden, like I was sucking on your thumb and you were sucking on my thumb and we were sucking each other's thumbs. And oh my God, I'm left-handed. I've always been left-handed. Jesus Christ. So we do this whole thing, right? And I get called into the principal's office that following Monday because the principal couldn't believe that an adult in charge of our whole program wasn't aware of the sexual content of this play and could like clearly, so he just threw the seniors, he threw all the kids under the bus. The high school guy basically said they did it behind my back. I didn't even know what was going on. They changed stuff. I mean, this guy just really shit the bed on it, right? So I got called in and I was like, they were like, you know, was he aware? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, he's the adult. He's the guy in the room.
Right.
And I stood up for my friends. I did all this stuff. And then just so you know, this gets really, so he basically a couple months later loses his job. And then it had come out that he was actually closeted himself the whole time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Then it came out that he was HIV positive. And then literally like 6 to 8 months later, he passed away. It was this big thing.
God.
I mean, shook up this, you know, our town, and we were hearing all this stuff. But it all started with this one act. And it was all about, you know, talking about all this stuff. And I thought it was hysterical. And I just, you know, I thought it was really funny. But a lot of people, I feel like now it would be taken so much better. But like back then it was more cringeworthy. Like people just weren't sure what to do with it because they hadn't really talked about it before. And they didn't, I guess they just didn't understand what it was. So they didn't know whether to laugh at it or if they were like, who's this? What does this mean now? I mean, are they talking about what? Oh my God! Like get the kids out of school. Like you know, they just went to freaking old people crazy town.
Yes.
But yeah, I'll never forget. I got called in. I stood up for my friends, and this adult, it was just, oh God, it was just, it was that and the sprayed on pants and sucking your thumb, sucking my, I just thought it was so funny. And it just all was like, I've never forgotten that moment. It's like standing.
I feel like if you guys were adults, even young adults, let's say over 18, that would be actually very interesting play. Metaphorically and all stuff. I mean, it would be very, I mean, there's like, but also I guess it could be funny too. I guess it could be several things.
Yeah, it's like it can be fun. Again, it's like when you hear it out loud, you just realize that, I don't know, the argument against it. What I'm trying to say is that like it's like Sarah Cooper, the young woman who does the impressions of Trump online. She just does his TikTok videos. Like sometimes it's like when you hear someone say something, it might not sound as absurd, but then when you hear someone else repeat it and they're saying it verbatim, you go, oh wow, that sounds like crazy. If I was listening to anyone else, I'd be like, you're nuts. There's something wrong. Right. So I think like by hearing it and you're hearing like what they're saying against being left-handed or different stuff, and you're like, this is so absurd. Like this is so silly that you know, we laugh at it in a play, but then in real life, people are like, oh, it's very, you know, it's very serious. And you're like, it's absurd. Like it's, you know, whatever.
That to me, the fact that, so however many years later that I can't even count, 20 years later, I have a podcast. I'm bad at math. A podcast about left-handed people. You're actually able to have a story that goes with it. Like I never.
It was such a that was such a crazy time, and it was so weird because I just remember him as this larger than life figure, but he was so negative and had so many homophobic things, and then it was just so ironic that he ended up being closeted at the end. And you're like, oh, he was just taking it out on everybody else. Like it was just this, but yeah, this play, oh my gosh, if you can find it anywhere for a one act, we should just do it now. It's called Removing the Glove. I'll do a freaking reading of it. I don't care.
You know what? I would too. I
Do you
seriously
want to do a reading sometime? Should we do a reading?
should, and film it and release it. Fucking why not? What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I'll be there.
Seriously. Seriously. Now you know I'm a doer. So I'm a doer. I put stuff together. I don't just talk.
James, listen, ever since the day I put a ring on my fiance, I've learned when I say it, I do it. So you tell me. You tell me. Ah!
I love it.
Right there.
Is she right-handed too?
She's right-handed, but she actually taught herself because she had broken her arm, I think, in high school. So she actually taught herself to write with her left and actually got quite good at it. Because I believe she's ambi. She can switch if she needs to. But she's typically a right-handed person. So, our kids, could have webbed feet. I don't know. There might be some demon stuff in there. But
it would make them good swimmers.
Yeah, they're gonna be great swimmers. No, she's told me before she can rotate if she needs to, and she taught herself how to write with her left hand. Which
smart. That's amazing.
Oh, she's a real smart one. Keeps me in line.
That's amazing. Now, do you know there's any left-handed people in your family? Have you noticed anybody, or any friends? Do you notice left-handed people? I mean, as a person who's not, do you notice it?
I'm trying to think.
Like for me as a left-handed person, we always know some other left-handed people. I go, oh, I always wonder. I never ask this question from right-handed people. Do you notice when someone's left-handed? They look different when they're right. Do you notice it?
Gosh, you know what? I don't think I've noticed the last time. I'm trying to think. No, because a lot of times I'm like, when do I ever see anybody like right now? Like everybody has their phone. Everybody does this.
Oh my God, that's true.
Growing up, I would definitely notice people writing a lot more. But now, I mean, no, I don't even know anymore.
That's actually a really good question. I guess the only time you would notice, that's a really good point. See,
if your parents were writing a check or something, you'd notice.
What's a check?
Exactly.
Well, I guess you would notice in terms of eating.
Yeah.
Nowadays, that'd be the only way. Eating would be the way, because even driving, you can't tell. I mean, you can't really tell drive either. So it'd be.
Oh yeah, no
idea. That's a good. That's a good point. I said right there. That's a good point. No one's writing. No one's writing anymore. No.
People don't write anymore. People aren't gonna tip with cash anymore. It's all gone, James. It's gone.
Actually, no. Actually, I went somewhere the other day, and they said only cards, no cash. Where was that? I was like, okay, I kind of get it. I mean, some food place. They were not accepting cash. No, it was a gardening place. I went to Armstrong's. They were like, we're not doing cash anymore, just cards.
See, I think that sucks. I get it why they're doing that. And like I bartended before all this happened, so I really appreciated the cash tips and love that. But I feel like it's that's just gonna hurt poor people. There's a lot of people out there with cash, or maybe people are scrounging together a couple bucks. They want to go get a coffee or something like that, and all that's going to do is if you don't have a PayPal account or Venmo or
right.
But I remember sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was in Hong Kong last year, actually, literally a year at this point. I was there for 2 months. Dodged a bullet there, James. But
my goodness.
I was there. A close friend of mine who I've known since college, she was able to shoot and film a movie in Hong Kong and on China and the mainland. So she was like, hey, do you want to go and just like, can you just help be like my, assistant, look out for me? Yeah, she was like, I'm a woman. I don't want to go over there alone. Like, and we'll have a good time and they'll put us up at these hotels. I was like, yeah, it was great. And she flew out my fiance. We spent like a week together in Hong Kong. It was beautiful. But the thing I noticed most is that, anyone begging for money on the street, they all had cell phones and they would all use WhatsApp. So that's how they would get money. They would just like hold up their phone to WhatsApp and be like, hey, can you just give me money? And I just remember thinking, oh, wow, like no one's asking for cash. And just because Hong Kong, China, it's like 13 hours ahead, you always felt like you're living in the future. I'm like, literally, you are in the future where they're like, there's no need for cash anymore. I'm like, this will hit us. It'll just hit us a little later. But I feel like now,
Well, I mean, I get that cash is dirty. We know that. It's dirty. But I think...
That's at the strip club.
But I have some dirty ones right here.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
When I was dancing last night. But also...
I like dirty ones and filthy fives. That's what I like.
Me too. I'm all about that too, actually. I'm all about those too. But credit cards can also be dirty too. I mean, like, because you're touching them and I mean, everything's dirty, I think, at this point. So it's kind of
Everything's
like,
dirty. What's different with cards is nice is that with contactless stuff, you can touch it. They
yeah.
touch it. I'm not dealing with you when you come up to the bar anymore. But then again, we're not going to have bars again until 2021, James.
I guess so. I was like,
we were so close. We were so close. And then
so close.
Ventura and Orange County said, nah, masks. This is stupid. We're invincible. And we said, okay.
Hey, so when you were bartending,
Mm-hmm.
a good question for that too is that, because you have a bar, whatever, which hands did you use? Were your hands both being used constantly? Did you always put your left when you were putting stuff, like when you were pouring drinks? Like, what did you do?
Usually pour drinks, make something, and then I'd come back up, hold the drink with my left hand. This was always, I guess the left was like my power hand, and then the right would be whatever I was doing on the iPad. But if it was something that I wanted, yeah, you know what, that is funny. If I'm holding something, the right, I don't know why, maybe it's because I use it more for everyday stuff, it'll shake more. But the left, that's solid. You know what I mean? The left is commitment. The right is just me scared early 20s. That's what I go by.
Sure. Like, sure. Oh, well.
Adam Carr, self-awareness you never asked for. That's all it is.
Oh my God, that's funny. I mean, but that's interesting. No, that's interesting. 'Cause I was thinking about that because you do have to type in stuff, but also you're handing drinks out. So I always wonder what the natural for you. And so literally your left hand would be the one holding drinks, and you have to use your right to actually type stuff in. That makes sense.
I remember, I think 4th grade or 5th grade, they started implementing typing classes on the computer in elementary school and going into like 5th and 6th grade.
Yeah.
I remember that there were, it was like a Mario typing program. It was like a Mario race car or something where like as you typed and did the stuff, your car kept moving forward. So if you kept up, but that was all about, you had to use right and left in conjunction with typing. So to this day, I kind of know basically where the key, where the letters are on the keyboard, but I'll use the left and right with equal passion and fervor to write something. Like, and I don't, I
love fervor. Love that word.
Well, it was on my calendar, so I had to use it.
I do. I love it. I'm a wordsmith. I love a good word. I've been using bandwidth recently.
Ooh.
I don't have the bandwidth for that. I have. I love words. I love.
That woman say that to me once too. So. I'm sorry. It's just.
But see, I like you with such fervor. It's
that love is reciprocated. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, I love that word too. It's not a good word. I love words. But bandwidth is my word this week. I've been using it a lot.
That's good. Let me use that.
Use it. Go ahead and use it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for being on the show, because we like to talk about left-handedness, and that's what we got to talk about. And we had a very interesting story, which I'm so happy you got to tell. And folks, actually stay tuned. We probably will get. I actually have a podcast that would actually fit on. You know, I do 10,000 things.
Really?
I do a podcast that might fit on. Actually, it seriously might.
At any time. Yeah.
I would totally look it up. I am. I'm totally gonna look it up. I'm so down. Adam Carr, my friend, my crush. Can you tell folks where they can find you and your show? Please tell them where you can find your show.
Absolutely, guys. So I host Horribly Hollywood Single, which James Lott Jr. was just a fantastic guest on. Some of the best guests in Hollywood, some of the worst dating stories you've ever heard. We just talk about the shitty cesspool that is Los Angeles dating and why it just seems to be harder here than any other place on the planet. Is it the narcissistic people? Is it the youth-obsessed culture? Is it just because people are assholes? I don't know, but we talk about it on the show, Horribly Hollywood Single. So Instagram, Facebook, @Horribly Hollywood Single. You can look us up on Spotify or iTunes. You can shoot me a message if you got bad dates. The email is horriblyhollywoodsingle@gmail.com. And I, of course, am the host there, Adam Carr. Also, shameless promotion, where I used to bartend was the Geffen Playhouse in Westwood, which is currently closed right now. But we have this handy-dandy show called The Present, which is done through Geffen Stay House. It's a very cool thing we do. The show is produced through Zoom, basically Tuesday through Sunday. We have 25 people each night. It is an interactive live magic show. A magic package similar to this one comes to your house. You open it up and participate with Helder Guimarães, the extraordinary, is like basically the best sleight of hand magician in the world. He's from Portugal. Absolutely brilliant. So if you're looking for something fun to do, between now and October, and maybe you want to have like a virtual date, or you just want to support the arts or see something, look up online the present. I think it's shown selling out pretty quick. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word there. But yeah, check it out. And sorry, I'm giving you a 2-minute answer to something taken 10 seconds, but that's the gist of it. Adam Nathan Carr. Trying to think of what else you didn't ask for that I'll just throw out there.
Your website is adamcarr.com, I believe.
Yes, it's adamcarr.com.
Yes, that's
pretty close. It'll all get you there. Whatever they want, James. Just tell them. Just give them the website. You know, they'll show up or they don't.
It'll all be in the bio somewhere.
It's all there. Okay.
Help yourself. Don't help yourself.
Meetings before. I don't want to make you like me. It's so. I'm tired, James. I'm tired.
You can't be tired. You're younger than I am. I'm tired.
I can't. Yeah, but you know, this has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for letting me tell that story. I gotta tell you, back in the day when this is all going on, my parents were just like, "What are you gonna do? Are you gonna do?" I'm like, you know, I'm like, what is this gonna ruin my high school theatrical career? Is this? Are they gonna blacklist me now? Am I up there? It's like, because I talked. I'm like,
I know.
Really?
Like, yeah, it's like, hello.
I'm 15. I own nothing. Sure, go for it. Whatever you want. Knock yourself out. By the way,
you're
water
always
is
water.
amazing.
It's great.
Do you ever did you ever drink Welch's grape soda growing up? Okay, so I was obsessed, right? But Waterloo, no calories, all the same bubble and taste. Grape, and frankly, I'm more partial to blueberry right now. But this grape is taking me back to Welch's.
I'm gonna try that. No calorie. That's what I need nowadays.
Wonderful. You can drink them. You don't feel bad. You guzzle one. You know, at 1 a.m. Go to sleep. I love this pandemic.
Wait, are they low in sugar? It's no calories. It must be low in sugar too, then.
Oh no! It's no calories. There's nothing. There's not
Okay.
even like sodium. You can get into trouble with that with seltzer. It can.
Yeah,
it can
right.
make you
Oh, right.
Yeah. we have to know these things, James. We live in Los Angeles. We have to look.
Not just that, but when you get to my age, you have to like try. I mean, I'm well preserved on the outside. The inside's all messed up.
You're doing great. You're the personification of your shirt, because
I know.
Ain't nothing cracking there.
Definitely.
You're doing great.
I'm James Lott Jr. This is a lot of talk with this is not a lot. This is Left-Handed with a lot to say with James Lott Jr. We are everywhere. I know I'm getting there. We're on all streaming services, anything you think of, from Spotify to iHeartRadio to Spreaker to iTunes. Like, it's called Apple Podcasts now, whatever it's called. Google. It's everywhere you can find it under Left-Handed with a lot to say. We're also on YouTube. You can find this and watch us and other people on JLJ Media. That's right, JLJ Media. You can find it. And where can you find me? Where all James Lott Jr.'s are, at James Lott Jr. on every single place on the planet. Just type it in, and I will show up. Not at your home, but I will show up somewhere on your phone, tablet, computer, television screen. I am there. So go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, rate everything, share it, do what you can, spread the word. Everybody, please wash your hands, wear a goddamn mask, and please look out for each other. We'll talk to you next time. And Black Lives Matter.